this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we're doing algebraic fractions and we're going to learn how to multiply and divide algebraic fractions. So when multiplying fractions, we multiply the numerators together and multiply the denominators together. And we also need to cancel where possible. When dividing fractions, what we need to do is invert the second fraction and change the divide sign into a times sign. So you actually never do any dividing. All you do is turn the second fraction upside down and you've become a times sign. It's become a multiplication problem. So let me show you how that is done. Let's look at question number 1. 9 over 14 times by 7 over 12. So this actually isn't even algebra, it is just normal fractions with numbers. So we can actually cancel first. If you can see any numbers, one number on the top and a number on the bottom that can be divided by the same number, a common number, then we can do that first. So for example, 7 and 14 can both be divided by 7. So 14 divided by 7, cross that out, gives me a 2. 7 divided by 7 gives me a 1. Okay? If you look at the 9 and the 12, they can both be divided by 3. If I divide 9 by 3, I get 3. And 12 divided by 3 gives me 4. So that is how you do cancelling. Once you have cancelled out as much as you can, then you multiply what is left. Now to do that, you just multiply the tops together. So on the top I have a 3 times by a 1. 3 times 1 is 3. And then you multiply the bottoms together. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, sometimes maybe you might have missed something that you could have cancelled. So sometimes maybe in your answer there might be some more cancelling that you can do here, and that's fine. You just do another equal sign and simplify it further down if you can. Okay, let's do question 2. We have some pronumerals in here now. So pronumerals can be cancelled out as well if there is one on the top and one on the bottom somewhere. It can be diagonally or it can even be straight up and down. So I have an M on the bottom and an M on the top. They can cancel out. I did those ones diagonally. I could have chosen that one there. Any one from the top and any one from the bottom is all I need to do. Now let's have a look at the numbers. Okay, well, let's have a look. I could divide 16 by 4 or even by 8. I could divide 16 by 8 and I could divide 24 by 8. If I had chosen 4, it would have meant that I had to cancel again. So let's go with the bigger number. Let's go with 8. 16 divided by 8 gives me 2 and 24 divided by 8 gives me 3. Alright, is there any more simplifying or cancelling that I can do? The 10 and the 18, well, we could at least divide those by 2. So 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 9 is the answer if I divide that by 2. Okay, so once we've cancelled everything we think we can cancel, we multiply what is left. Let's multiply across the top. I have a 2 times by a 5. 2 times 5 is 10. On the bottom I have 9 times by 3, which is 27, and I still have an M sitting in there, so it needs to sit in my answer as well. Okay, that's the answer. Let's have a look at question 3. H over 11 times 22 over 15 times 25 over H. Okay, so we can cancel a H from the top and a H from the bottom. Okay, even across 3 fractions, you can still cancel anywhere from the top, anywhere from the bottom. So let's have a look at some numbers. 11 and 22, we can divide by 11. Divide that by 11, we get 1. Divide that by 11, we get 2. 15 and 25 can be divided by 5. Divide that by 5, we get 3. Divide that by 5, we get 5. Try not to do too much crossing out when you cross things out. It just makes it messy and hard to read. Okay, let's multiply what is left. Now on the top, that's all gone. I have a 2 and I have a 5. 2 times 5 is 10. On the bottom, I have a 1 and a 3, and that's it. So 1 times 3 is 3. So 10 over 3 is my answer. Since there are no pronumerals left in my question, I could write that as a mixed numeral, which would be 3 goes into 10 3 times with a remainder of 1. So it's 3 and 1/3 would be the mixed numeral. In question 4, we're going to do some dividing. Now, to do a division question, all we do before we start anything else, rewrite the question. The first fraction stays the same. The second fraction we turn upside down, so that means the 15D from the bottom is going to come to the top, and the 49 from the top is going to go to the bottom. And instead of it being a division sign here, we change it to be a times. And that is the only new step. Now it is a multiplication problem, and we can do it just like these other 3 questions that we've done already. So we look for things that we can cancel. Well, I can 10 and 15, I can divide by 5. Divide that by 5 and I get 2. Divide that by 5 and I get 3. Now the D's are both on the top now, so they don't cancel. 9 and 49, not going to cancel. 3 and 49, I don't think anything else there is going to cancel. Let's multiply what is left. On the top, 9 times 3 is 27. And I also have a D, so that's going to go there. On the bottom, I have a 2 times 49, which is 98. Now that's quite a big fraction, so you might be tempted to think, oh, maybe that's going to simplify some more. If you're ever unsure, we can always have a little check on the calculator. If you just ignore the D and type in 27 over 98, press your equal sign, and if it can be simplified, it will simplify it for you, but this one can't. So that is my answer. Alright, question 5. GH divided by 9, divide by G over 24. So remember, our first step is to rewrite the question, leaving the first fraction the same and flipping the second fraction upside down. And when we flip it upside down, we change the divide into a times. Okay, now it's a multiplication problem. Well, I can cancel a G from the top and a G from the bottom. 9 and 24, can I divide? Yes, I can divide them both by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Let's see what is left. On the top, I have an 8 and a H. H times 8 is 8H. And on the bottom, everything's crossed out except for this 3. So that's it. Don't change your answers into mixed numerals if there is still pronumerals in your answer. It's better to leave them as improper fractions like this. Okay, so on the next page we have 5 questions here for you to practice. Remember that you can print off all my sheets if you go to my website, see the details below. You can print off all these pages for free, and then you can work along with me. So let's have a look at question number 1. No pronumerals, just normal multiplying fractions here. Let's see, what can we cancel out? Well, 8 and 4. They can divide by 4, which would give me a 2 and a 1. 12 and 3 can both be divided by 3. 12 divided by 3 goes 4 times. 3 divided by 3 goes once. Once we have cancelled, I can actually cancel again, but I'm not going to, just to show you what happens here. 2 times 1 is 2, And on the bottom, 4 times 1 is 4. So you can probably see what I was talking about. The 2 and the 4 here could have actually cancelled again. But we can just do that now. 2 over 4 can be simplified. We can divide both of those numbers by 2 to give me a 1 over 2. So a half is the final answer. Question 2. Let's have a look for some cancelling out. I can cancel the y's, one top, one bottom. And let's look at some numbers. 33 and 22 can divide by 11. That would give me 3 here. And 22 divided by 11 is 2. 9 and 36 can divide by 9, which would give me a 1 here. And 36 divided by 9 goes 4 times. This time, let's do the cancelling now. See the 2 and the 4? They're still on top and bottom. Even though they're right on top of each other, we can still cancel those out. 2 divided by 2 goes once. And 4 divided by 2 goes twice. Okay, just that extra cancelling out before we multiply. So on the top, we've got 1 times 1, which is 1, and we have an x. So we don't need to write 1x, we can just write x over. On the bottom, we've got 3 times 2, which is 6. So the final answer is x over 6. How did you go with that one? It was a little bit tricky, all that cancelling in there. Question 3 is a division problem. So we rewrite it. 21b over 20. Change it to a times and flip to be 40a over 35b. Alright, now what can we cancel? 21, well, let's cancel the letters first. I can cancel a b with a b. 21 and 35 can divide by 7. 21 divided by 7 goes 3 times. 35 divided by 7 goes 5 times. 40 and 20, oh, we can divide by 20. 20 divided by 20 goes once. 40 divided by 20 goes twice. Let's multiply what's left. 3 is all that's left here, times 2a. 3 times 2 is 6a over 1 times 5 is 5. 6a over 5 is your answer. Question 4, another divide. So let's rewrite it. 3ab over 8cd times by 4 over 15bd. Alright, lots of pronumerals in this one, so hopefully lots of cancelling. Let's have a look. I have a b here, which will cancel that b, but that's all. That's the only pronumeral that's going to cancel. Let's have a look at the numbers. A 3 and a 15. Yes, we can divide by 3 to get a 1 and a 5. The 8 and the 4, we can divide by 4 to get a 2 and a 1. Let's multiply what's left. So we have 1a, or just a, times another 1 is still just a, over 2cd, but let's just do 2 times by 5, which is 10. And then let's come back for the letters. We've got a c, and we've got d times d, which would become d squared. Okay, and the last question is 3 fractions. Okay, so we have 1 multiply and 1 divide. So let's rewrite it just so that we can flip that last fraction to change it into a times. So 5m over 12 times 36n over 20. I think my text is running out. Let's just grab another one. Times by 15 over 4m. Okay, so changed it into a times. So now we can cancel out. So let's have a look. On the top I have an m that can cancel with the m down here. And let's have a look for some numbers. Well, there's some things that can divide by 5. Let's maybe divide the 20 and the 15. You can do it differently. If you just keep simplifying, we should all get to the same answer. 20 divided by 5 is 4. 15 divided by 5 is 3. The 36 and the 12, I can divide by 12 to get 1 here. 36 divides by 12 3 times. I don't think there's anything else we can cancel. So let's multiply what is left. 5 times 3 is 15, times another 3 is 45. And then, looking at the pronumerals, we have an n left on the top. The m has cancelled off. On the bottom, that's gone. We just got a 1. We've got 4 times 4, which is 16. And there you have it. Alright, keep practicing. Find lots of multiplying and dividing questions. And I'll see you next time for some more math fun. Bye for now.